We are live here from Audubon High School as we have coverage for the Audubon Holiday Classic. It's the boys' third-place game between the Moorestown Friends Foxes and the Hammonton Blue Devils. I'm Jay Clark alongside Colin Morris. And Colin, both of these teams didn't get the result they wanted in the first round of the tournament. It was a couple of close games between the two of them, but now they're set to play here against one another for the third-place prize.
Well, it's two teams who are a little bit different in 2024, but are similar tracks in 2025 so far early on in the year. For the Moorestown Friends Foxes, they're sitting at 0-2. But after a successful 2024 campaign, the departure of Coach Sean Green is going to be interesting to see what they can do in the new year. They're looking for their first win today. And on the other side, for the Blue Devils, they were 9-15 in 2024. They start at 1-3 again with Coach Ian McCarthy in his second year. Obviously, behind the legendary Joe Martino, looking to build up that Blue Devils program back to their winning ways and get a win today for their second of the year. Yeah, and for Hammonton, they played a very, very close game. Very well could have saw themselves in the final of this tournament. Lost to Gloucester Catholic 48-45, just by 3 points. Whereas for Moorestown Friends, they lost 53-39 against Audubon. Certainly going to be an interesting matchup here today. And it's going to be exciting because that game was so tight yesterday with the Blue Devils and the Foxes, obviously, the Blue Devils and the Rams. Obviously, we'll see the Rams later in the championship against Audubon. But for today, we're going to see who can pick up a win. Although it's a third-place game, we said it earlier for our first game. But even though it's a third-place game for a tournament, it's still a very important game for the NJSIAA standards of picking up a win in the season.
It certainly is. We'll be right back after the starting lineups are announced right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. So the starting lineups announced for both the Moorestown Friends Foxes and the Hammonton Blue Devils. The starters for the Blue Devils: Cameron Lewis, Braden Cassidy, Greg Smith, William Frick, and Ryan Cretion. And for the Foxes, Elijah Muhammad, Zach Talton, Bodie Vance Harris, Ben Buchtel, and Liam Richards. Certainly going to be an interesting matchup. Hammonton wearing the lighter white uniforms with blue numbering and lettering. Moorestown Friends in the navy blue uniforms with a red outline and the white lettering and numbering. Jump ball is set up, and we are underway here from Audubon High School for the Audubon Holiday Classic consolation game between Hammonton and Moorestown Friends. The Foxes with the first possession. Top of the key, it's Richards. Richards swings over to Muhammad. Muhammad to Talton. Talton, three-pointer, hits the back of the rim. Rebound goes to Smith, and here come the Blue Devils. Smith with it. Finds Cretion. Now they get it back to Smith. Thought about a three-pointer. Slows the pace of play down. Finds Cassidy. Blue Devils taking their time trying to swing the ball around. Cassidy thought about a three-pointer. Gets it down to Cretion. Back to Cassidy. And Lewis with it at the top. Cassidy, three-pointer, rolls around the rim and will not fall. Rebound goes there to Richards. Vance Harris orchestrating the offense here. 1 minute off the clock in this first quarter. Talton with the ball. Back to Muhammad. Muhammad driving inside, gets the left block, doesn't get the shot to fall. The rebound goes to Cretion. And Lewis will bring the ball up. Passes it quickly here. Smith with it. Back to Lewis. Three-pointer up from the corner. Too strong. And the rebound goes to Talton. Talton guarded by Cretion at the top. They swing it over to Vance Harris. Harris looking around for somebody and finds Bookdahl. Moorestown Friends, a nice pass inside. Vance Harris is there, goes up and under, doesn't get the layup to fall. The rebound goes to Smith. Smith racing, driving with the left hand. Shot goes up, a late whistle, and now a foul. Almost the whole 2 minutes off the clock, back and forth possessions, and still we're here without a basket. But it looks as though Greg Smith will go to the line, the senior guard, to shoot two. Or excuse me, no, they're going to inbound. They call it on the floor.
Yeah, I was just going to get at that, Jake, early on here with almost 2 minutes gone, an early defensive game.
Smith's shot doesn't go from way downtown. Muhammad driving inside, uses the left and gets the shot to drop off the glass. Elijah Muhammad, the senior guard, breaks the scoreless tie just about 2 minutes into this first quarter.
That's a good drive there for Moorestown Friends, just taking it right down all the way. We've seen a lot of passing early on for Hammonton, but right there, that's just domination, taking over and finishing the lay.
Ryan Cretion getting inside, three-pointer up, back iron there for Bookdahl, and the rebound goes to Greg Smith. Smith picked up by Muhammad. 5.5 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Cretion coming to set a screen for Smith. Smith driving inside, goes up strong with the left hand. First shot doesn't go, gets his own rebound. Second chance, no good, but a foul. Greg Smith, the senior guard here for Hammonton, headed to the line in 3 games, averaging 17.7 points per game. A career-high 30 points for him this year against CCTS in the season opener on December 15th. His first free throw rolls around the rim and drops. In that game, also recorded a double-double, added 11 rebounds.
And Greg Smith, you know, obviously the senior guard, he's listed as 6'2", but is really kind of the heart of this team. The point guard and the senior, just one of those upper-class guys for Hammonton on a more experienced roster. Just going to be doing it for them all year, and early on here in the game, making his presence felt.
Bookdahl's pass was deflected, ends up in the hands of Smith. Smith sizing up his defender, and Bookdahl swings it over to Cassidy. Now finds Lewis. Cassidy top of the key. They get it down for Cretion. He kicks it out. Good ball movement here by the Blue Devils. Smith, three-pointer. You bet. Greg Smith steps into a long-range three, and now a 7-2 lead for Hammonton.
And right as we just said, Jay, Greg Smith making his presence felt early with 4:30 to go in the first. It's going to be like that all day today, and it's going to be like that all year in 2025 for the senior.
Pass intercepted by Lewis. Lewis goes up, and the layup rolls around the rim and drops. Whistles and a timeout taken by Daryl Gladden and the Moorestown Friends Foxes as they find themselves on the wrong side of a 9-2 run here in the first quarter. A great start by Hammonton as we'll keep things here. Daryl Gladden leading this Moorestown Friends Foxes to an 0-2 record so far. They've only got 2 games played here as we're just about through the first month of the season. Losing their first game 66-47 against Palmyra on the 22nd, and then just a day ago to Audubon. Hammonton 1-3 on the year, lost a close one in their last game to Gloucester Catholic, who we'll see later here today in this Audubon Holiday Classic tournament. We saw the first game, the girls' third-place game between Pensgrove and Vineland. Vineland won 66-20, and after this game, it'll be the girls' final between Deptford and the Audubon girls team, along with Gloucester Catholic, who we just mentioned, that beat Hammonton, against Audubon, who beat this Moorestown Friends team. That'll be the final game of the day at 3:30. Vance Harris with it, picked up by Smith. Bookdahl at the top of the key. Now Muhammad sizing up his defender. Muhammad working against Frick. Bookdahl with it, picked up by Cretion. Pass was deflected, and it'll be going the other way. So a good defensive possession there by Hammonton as they get the ball back on the turnover by Moorestown Friends.
And for Muhammad, I think that was just off his fingertips. I don't know if it was deflected by Hammonton and then off of Muhammad, or if it's just off of Muhammad, but either way, Hammonton's applying the pressure early, and that's what they're going to have to do, is they're already up by 7.
Cassidy swings this one over to Lewis. Cretion in the corner. Quick ball movement here by the Blue Devils. Frick thought about a 3. Nice bounce pass inside for Smith. He leaves the layup just short, and the rebound goes to Muhammad and the Foxes. Muhammad out in transition, lost it for a second, now has it back. Quick dribble moves. He drives inside, uses the right hand, and gets the shot to drop. Scrappy work there by Elijah Muhammad. Has all 4 points here for the Foxes, and he's picking up Cameron Lewis full court. Whistles and a carry there, and Muhammad fired up after that effort, forcing a turnover on Cameron Lewis and the Blue Devils.
And for Elijah Muhammad, you know, another guy, a senior guard, he's listed at 5'10", a little smaller than Greg Smith, excuse me, but another guy that making his presence felt early here with that intensity, like you just said, that fired up mentality he has, and he's been converting on offense for Moorestown Friends so far, cutting that lead to 5.
Muhammad, three-pointer. Hits the rim, rebound goes to Smith. Smith racing up the court, going towards the left side, uses the left hand right off the glass and in for Greg Smith. Quick out in transition. The Foxes are back setting up in the half court. It's Muhammad guarded by Lewis, right at the A of the Audubon logo here at Audubon High School for the Holiday Classic. Muhammad passes this one up to Talton, guarded by Smith. 7-point lead here for Hammonton. They get it over. Bodie Vance Harris with it. Now to Bookdahl. Back to Vance Harris. A slower possession here for Moorestown Friends. Muhammad working against Lewis, driving inside. Crafty move. The shot was blocked, but he's called for a foul, and so Elijah Muhammad will head to the line. Muhammad 16 points in the game against Audubon just a day ago here in this Holiday Classic. Had a career best 118 points last year as a junior. As the first free throw goes up and is good. Substitutions being made here for both teams. Nazir Blackwell comes in for Hammonton.
And for Muhammad, it's like we said earlier, it's him and Greg Smith are just going back and forth in this game so far, but drawing the foul there, that's a big one for the Foxes because he's going to cut this lead down to 5 with just over 2 minutes in the first. And Hammonton, right in the beginning, looked unstoppable, but Moorestown Friends making some adjustments in that timeout and making some adjustments on both sides of the ball.
Three-pointer for Lewis. Rattles out. Rebound goes to Smith. Second chance. Yes. Good offensive rebound by Greg Smith, and the senior chalks up 2 more there for the Blue Devils. Muhammad calling out a play, orchestrating this offense. Looking around for some help. They get it over to Vance Harris, guarded by Smith. Vance Harris sizing up his defender. Back to Muhammad. Muhammad, quick dribble moves, now drives inside, gets to the cup, can't get the shot to finish. Blackwell goes behind the back, finds Cassidy, thought about the three-pointer, now Smith driving inside, he's doubled and he's fouled. Physical play there by Greg Smith, the senior, to get himself to the line. Third foul of the quarter for Moorestown Friends, as that one goes on Bodie Vance Harris, just his first. Free throw is up and good for Greg Smith.
And although Smith is one of those guys that's been leading the way for Hammonton, someone that Coach Ian McCarthy spoke very highly of was junior forward Nazir Blackwell, who so far we have not said his name much, although it is early, but right now Hammonton's up by 9, and so far Greg Smith is all they've needed.
Blackwell not in the starting lineup here today, coming in off the bench, now on the floor. 15-6, the Foxes trail, looking to try and cut in that deficit. Muhammad with it, picked up by Smith. These guards have been going back and forth all quarter. Less than a minute to go. Muhammad dribbling in between his legs, driving inside against Blackwell. Whistles, and a foul on the floor. We'll wait and see who they get the foul on. Nevertheless, Moorestown Friends has the ball. They get it against Nazir Blackwell. You just mentioned Colin, the junior. Bookdale, a long inbound, and a backcourt violation there. The pass a little bit too long for Elijah Muhammad. And another turnover there by the Foxes. Feels as though that might be the difference in this game. Both teams seeming to have no problem on the offensive end, but a couple of turnovers for the Foxes early on in this first quarter.
And that was kind of the main focus for either team, is they bring back most of their graduates. Hammonton graduated 4. Moorestown Friends graduated 3. So most of that young core returning for each squad, and so far they're looking for people to replace those upperclassmen that have graduated, and so far it looks like they found a couple of their guys in Muhammad and Smith.
Three-pointer for Cassidy. Bullseye from the corner. Braden Cassidy gets the shot to drop, and the threes keep on coming here for Hammonton. 18-6, they lean over the Foxes. Muhammad wants to slow things down, taking his time. No shot clock here in the state of New Jersey, so with 15 seconds, can imagine that Daryl Gladden and the Foxes want to hold for the final shot. Defense chant getting started by the Hammonton bench. Pass intended for Talton. Blackwell is there. 2 seconds left. Talton has to get one up, just throws it at the rim, and the shot does not fall. A good quarter for Hammonton as they were firing on all cylinders on the offensive side. They lead 18-6 over the Moorestown Friends Foxes. We'll be back for the second quarter in just a moment here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to the Audubon Holiday Classic, the third place game for the boys. And we're here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Jake Clark alongside Colin Morris, and this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students take their New Jersey State driver's test with Harper that pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at 614 Lambs Road, Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex. It's Smith with it. Slowing things down, picked up by Bookdahl. Cretan's coming to set a screen. Smith doesn't want it. Drives inside, slow step, he's fouled. They'll call it on the floor. A reach in before Smith could take the shot. And as a result, Ryan Cretan, the junior guard, to inbound right underneath the basket. Pair of substitutions being made for Moorestown Friends. Dean Simpson sees his first action of the afternoon. He's able to wrestle there with Smith and force a turnover. So Simpson coming in right off the bench is able to get a steal and a turnover there for the Foxes. Big there for Daryl Gladden and company. The Foxes looking to try and get something going. Muhammad with it. Takes a three-pointer. Doesn't get it to go. It'll stay with the Foxes.
And like you said on that substitution, Coach Daryl Glenn, I believe he's just trying to find that spark plug for the Moorestown Friends. They graduated the heart of the offense, Sakira Ba, who had over 1,100 points in his career. Also graduated, 3 of those 4 seniors that graduated from Moorestown Friends were 3 of the top scorers. So that's going to be something that Coach Gladden's going to be looking for, and guys like Muhammad and other young guys coming off the bench is that kind of replacement on that offensive side of the ball and that kind of electricity coming from the scoring aspect.
And it certainly doesn't help that they're very early in their season. This is only their 3rd game of the year. We mentioned that they're 0-2, but they got a late start to their season playing their first game on December 22nd. Smith takes a dribble. Now a 3-pointer from the corner. Hits off the front iron. It will stick with Hammonton. It'll be Blackwell to inbound, the junior forward. Finding Smith at the top of the key. Thought about a 3-pointer. Cretion is there. Now back to Smith. Smith driving inside. Slow step. Whistles and a foul. And it looks as though it's on the floor yet again. Smith is getting fouled just before he's able to get the ball up and out of his hands. And so Blackwell will inbound again. This time it's tipped there by Zach Talton. And a turnover for the Blue Devils. Muhammad with it. Gets a screen from Talton. Drives to his left. Double teamed. He's blocked. An excellent job there by Ryan Cretion and Nazir Blackwell, collapsing down on the defender and rejecting the shot from Elijah Muhammad.
And that was impressive from Cretion. You know, someone who's listed as 6 foot, the junior guard, kind of playing big man in that scenario and getting over and just knocking it free and out of bounds. It's going to let Hammonton reset on the defensive side of the ball.
Talton has it. Now over to Richards. Finding Muhammad. Slow start for this Foxes offense. Only 6 points in the first quarter. Muhammad back with it. Takes a step back, lost his dribble. Shot goes up hard off the glass and will not fall. The rebound goes to Cassidy. Cassidy finds Smith. 3-pointer from the wing. Front iron. Rebound goes to Muhammad. Muhammad racing, and he's fouled by William Frick. Now it looks as though head coach Ian McCarthy for this Blue Devils team wants to take a timeout and will. And we'll take a quick step off the air. When we return, more action here in the second quarter as Hammonton leads over the Foxes 18-6. We'll be right back on DWB. We welcome you back to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting here at Audubon High School. This broadcast is brought to you by RCSJ Gloucester, the premier community college of New Jersey. Become a Roadrunner today for athletic recruiting at rcroadrunners.com and visit rcsj.edu for academic info. The Blue Devils already back in action quick after the timeout. 2 minutes off the clock here in this second quarter. Lewis with the ball, working against Richards, drives inside, blocked by Talton. Talton looking to push the pace here for the Foxes. Driving inside, working against Smith. Nobody's home, and he passes it to himself out of bounds. Thought he was going to be connecting there with Greg Smith, and Smith just got out of the way.
Talton was looking for anything there as he kind of lost his balance out of bounds, but he ended up turning around and the ball's in his own hands, but out of bounds. He was surrounded by multiple Blue Devils there, so nothing doing for Moorestown Friends. Decent looks from him and Muhammad all game so far. They're just unable to convert in the paint early on here, or later on in the first half. That's something they might have to adjust at halftime.
Cameron Lewis guarded at half court, makes a move, finding Smith. Muhammad's there tightly guarding him. Cassidy, deep 3-pointer, kaboom! Braden Cassidy, another 3-pointer there. 21-6. As the Blue Devils are pouring it on here in the second. Simpson with it, driving baseline, working against Cassidy, tries the up and under, doesn't go. Rebound goes to Vance Harris, and he's fouled. Bodie Vance Harris, the senior for the Foxes. Nazir Blackwell coming back in, checking out William Frick. So one junior replacing another, and Simpson to inbound here. Simpson still looking, heaves this one for Muhammad, somehow gets the pass to go over the hands of Ryan Cretion. 3 minutes off the clock. Vance Harris with it. Makes a crossover, thought about the jump shot. Now Simpson at the top of the key, finds Muhammad. Muhammad driving against Smith. Crafty move there by Elijah Muhammad to get the layup to fall. He's got all 8 here for the Foxes.
And Muhammad and Smith have just been working on each other the entire day so far. It's a 21-8 game between Hammonton and Moorestown Friends, but right now it's kind of feeling like a 21-8 game, Smith over Muhammad. With 4:30 to go in the second, it's been impressive to watch both of these guards go to work.
Smith can't get the shot to go. Blackwell on the second chance. Leaves it short, and the rebound goes to the Foxes. Outlet pass for Muhammad. 2-on-1, Muhammad going up. Can't get the layup to go. Richards is there, and a foul is called. They get that one against Liam Richards. But have to imagine that's some sort of over-the-back foul, as the box out was present, and Richards went up and around to get the rebound. So the clock is stopped at 4:18.
And Richards, another one of those experienced guys on this experienced upper-class-based Moorestown Friends Foxes team, and kind of a rare upper-class penalty there for the Foxes, but Richards is going to look to capitalize and stick to the Foxes' games here as another foul on Moorestown Friends.
Foul goes against Brandon Snow. That's his first. Smith with it. Cassidy, another three-pointer, leaves it just short. Rebound goes to Muhammad. Muhammad dribbles in and out between defenders, finds Simpson. Simpson's shot left it short. Vance Harris on the rebound, and he'll back it out now. Wise move to just get it to Muhammad. Snow back to Muhammad, working against Smith. These two guards have been going toe-to-toe. Muhammad's three-pointer, you bet. Elijah Muhammad now 11 points and has all 11 for the Foxes. Makes it just a 10-point game with 3:30 left to go in the half. It's Lewis working against Richards. Finds Blackwell, poked away by Snow, and he's got nobody to beat. Snow goes up, hits it off the glass, and now finally somebody other in the scoring column other than Muhammad as Snow drops 2 points. Smith, hard drive inside, answers right back.
And I was just about to get at the point where that's huge for the Foxes, kind of chipping away at that big lead that Smith and the Blue Devils have built here, but Greg Smith coming right back and showing why Hammonton has been dominating so far.
Cretion with it, driving towards the baseline, spins. Looking, finds Blackwell. Nice cut by Blackwell, but one too many steps and a travel there for the junior forward.
And Blackwell, another guy that was, as I mentioned earlier, was spoken very highly over at Hammonton, but a guy that is still young. In his junior season, he played last year a little bit, but still kind of forming into that player that he is, and someone that will need to take a step this year.
And speaking of steps, we're going to take a quick step right off the air here on DWB. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. Registration is now open for the spring of 2026 with over 20 teams across 4 competing divisions. Sign up today at southjerseynaba.com. Shot goes up and in there. Bookdahl on the bucket, and that's big for the Foxes, getting others involved in the scoring. Lewis driving inside against Snow. Kick out for Cassidy. Thought about the three-pointer. Drives to the baseline and now backs it out. Cassidy spinning. Floater goes up. Too strong off the glass. Muhammad on the rebound. Muhammad working against Smith. Muhammad drives inside. Leaves the layup just short, and Cretion's there on the board. Cretion goes up to Smith. Smith with a full head of steam going in. Shot drops and the foul. Greg Smith driving hard to the basket and has a chance now for one more at the free throw line.
That is extremely impressive from Greg Smith. Obviously, we talked about earlier how impressive he has been in his career, but early on this year as well, and today especially. And Greg Smith is doing everything he can. There's now some confusion on the court with some substitutions, but Greg Smith, has just been so dominant today early on in the 10-point leads. They're trying to make it an 11, and Moorestown Friends, no answer so far through 2 timeouts and 2 quarters.
Smith entering the night tonight, 75% from the free throw line. He ups the percentage with that make and gets the old-fashioned three-point play. 26-15 with less than 2 minutes to go in the half. The Blue Devils out in front. Muhammad goes up and under. Crafty layup from Elijah Muhammad. The shifty guard adds 2 more points to his tally here this afternoon.
And Muhammad, as we talked about earlier, his fiery passion and energetic personality is what really carries his game well.
Smith driving inside, and it looks as though a blocking foul against Bookdahl would have to be the call there. Not sure his feet were set. And with Moorestown Friends in the bonus, now the 3rd foul against Bookdahl, and Greg Smith heading back to the line. The senior has been tremendous here this afternoon for the Blue Devils.
And something we saw a lot in our first game, Jake, was the penalty for both teams. It was very quick for each team to get to 5 fouls instead of 6, like the collegiate or professional level. But with 1:31 to go in the second quarter, Moorestown Friends has entered the penalty. So sending Smith back to the line as he's missed both of them, but that's going to be big down the line is to stay out of that penalty for both squads. As we saw in the first game, it really impacts the game.
Talton with the ball, and I mean, you mentioned we've got 2 more games coming up here today. We saw Pensgrove and Vineland girls teams battle it out. Vineland the winner in that game as Richards steps into a three-pointer. Bank is open there for Liam Richards as he knocks it down and cuts the deficit to just 6 points now for the Foxes. A huge quarter. They only scored 6 in that first and now have called their way back. Cassidy three-pointer, back iron. Richards with the rebound, and he is fouled. Looked as though that was against Cretion. But after this game, Deptford and the Audubon girls team will play for the final in this Holiday Classic. That game's scheduled to tip off right around 2 o'clock. You can hear myself and the man himself, Dan Wilkins, on the call. And then at 3:30, Gloucester Catholic and the Audubon boys team will take the hardwood with the same duo, myself and Dan, on the mic. Shot is up and the foul. Talton headed to the free throw line. And it looked as though Hammonton might be able to run away with this game. But in the blink of an eye, the Moorestown Friends Foxes are right back into this one, only down by 6.
And early on, Elijah Muhammad was really the one carrying the offensive side of the ball for Moorestown Friends. But right now, the surrounding cast is stepping up. This is shaping to be a really, really solid game. And as we talked about, although it's a consolation game in the Audubon Holiday Classic, it is still a very big game in terms of the NJSIAA, the seeding for the playoffs, your overall record in 2025. There's still high stakes for this game, and right now both teams are shaping up to make it a great one.
Three-pointer, Frick, yes! William Frick knocks down the triple from the corner, a big shot to give the Blue Devils some momentum. 30 seconds left to go in the half. Muhammad working against Lewis. Looking around, now drives inside. Muhammad's shot is tipped, and a foul is called. Ian McCarthy not happy as Cameron Lewis there on the foul. Trying to talk to the official is McCarthy. McCarthy, the head coach for this team, a team that went 9-15 last year and missed the playoffs entirely in South Jersey Group 3 play a season ago. Something that Hammonton hopes to fix as the first free throw off for Muhammad. For Moorestown Friends, their season a winning record last year, losing in the first round of the South Jersey non-public B bracket. Second free throw left short there by Muhammad. It was tipped out there by Liam Richards, who fell to the hardwood. Was working against Greg Smith.
And as you mentioned, for Ian McCarthy, it's just his second season, so time to turn around this Blue Devils program, but something that he's going to want to do. Obviously, Joe Martino, the legendary Hammonton coach, was kind of a mentor for him before he was promoted as a head coach, was hired as an assistant in 2022.
Foul there. Looks as though Blackwell will head to the free throw line. Clock stopped, 16 seconds left to go. Hammonton up on the scoreboard by 7. Blackwell, the junior forward, averaging 9.7 points per game this year, 4 rebounds to go along with it. As his first free throw is up and good. Has scored 9+ points in all 3 of his games played this year. Had a season-high 11 points and 8 rebounds against Pleasantville on December 18th. Blackwell now 8 of 11 from the free throw line. Entered this afternoon 70% from the charity stripe. As the lefty sends the second one up, and it is no good. That one deflected off of Talton, but they say it will still go with Moorestown Friends. Cassidy might have stepped on the line or out of bounds as he tried to bounce that one off of Zach Talton. Muhammad with it, 12 seconds left to go. Once again, looks as though the Foxes will hold for the final shot. 5 on the clock. Muhammad driving inside, looking around, somehow sneaks by. The layup too strong at the buzzer for Talton is no good. A major turnaround quarter for the Moorestown Friends Foxes, only scoring 6 points in that first quarter. Now find themselves at 22 at the half, but they still trail by 8 to the Hammonton Blue Devils, 30-22. We'll be right back with second half action here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
woo!
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Ogley to end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it, and for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3. Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish. And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex and the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday.
just about set for the second half of action here in the Audubon Holiday Classic consolation game for the boys' side of things between the Hammonton Blue Devils and the Moorestown Friends Foxes. I'm Jake Clark alongside Colin Morris. And Colin, we've got a great slate of games here today. 4 total games from the Audubon Holiday Classic here at Audubon High School. We saw at 11 a.m. Pennsgrove take on Vineland, where Vineland was the winner in that game. And after this, Deptford and Audubon will play in the girls' final. That's set to tip off around 2 o'clock. And then at 3:30, it'll be Gloucester Catholic against the Audubon Green Wave boys team to round out the day. And Colin, for the third-place boys game that we have right now, it's certainly been a back-and-forth battle between the Foxes and the Blue Devils.
Yeah, like you said earlier on in the day, Jake, it was kind of looking like it was going to turn into a Hammonton blowout. In the first quarter, they were up big. Moorestown Friends responded with that with a 6-point first quarter and then kind of exploded offensively for 18 in the second quarter, kind of shaping it up to be a good game. So, two, programs that are respectable. Obviously, Hammonton with the respectable past. Moorestown Friends kind of on the rise as of last year. So it's exciting to see, what's going to happen here. 2 kind of different shaped programs and shaping up to be a really good consolation game. And like we'll keep saying it time and time again, 16 minutes left of regulation in this one. But not only is it a third-place game, but it's a huge game for standings in 2025.
It certainly is. This game will count on both of the regular season records, so a lot to play for as shot goes up there. No good from Bookdale, and the rebound goes to Frick. Lewis finds Smith, guarded there by Richards. Smith dribbling with his right, looking around. Bounce pass to Frick. Now back to Smith. Smith, the leading scorer in the first half for the Blue Devils. Cassidy with it, guarded tightly there by Vance Harris. They find Lewis again. Muhammad's there on defense. Frick, 3-pointer from the top of the key. Front iron. Batted around twice there by Talton, but he's able to tip it to his teammate and Bodie Vance Harris. Vance Harris finds Muhammad. Back to Vance Harris. 3-pointer from Talton. Back iron. Muhammad on the rebound. He's blocked by Smith. Looked as though a defensive change from Ian McCarthy, switching from a man-to-man to a zone defense. And it pays off there big time with Smith getting the block.
Greg Smith, once again, just making his presence felt. We talked about him all day. He's had an excellent start to this one here in the first half, and we'll see if Coach Gladden and the Moorestown Friends Foxes have any responses for his dominating first half.
Vance Harris, 3-pointer, too strong, and the rebound goes to Cassidy. So far, the zone causing a little bit of problems for the Foxes as Smith drives in. Frick thought about the 3-pointer. Bounce pass inside. Cretion's there. He had it knocked away. It'll stay with Hammonton.
And although Hammonton didn't convert on that possession, that was very impressive ball movement there from Smith and all around. Everyone on the floor almost got involved with that.
Smith, wide open 3. Money. Greg Smith knocks it down. Too much open space from the outside. And now extends the lead to 11 for the Blue Devils. Vance Harris with it. Cross-court pass to Muhammad. He's doubled. Richards back to Vance Harris. Bookdale. Muhammad with it. Working inside. Floats one up. Too strong off the back of the rim. Talton gets the rebound. Tries to go up with the right hand. Muhammad, third time is the charm there for the Foxes as Muhammad converts off the left block. Smith finally gets it past half court. Cretion's there. They're swinging around. Cassidy back to Smith. Smith with a jab step working against Vance Harris. Tipped away and stolen there by the Foxes. Richards with it. Cassidy's there, gets it out to Talton. Talton driving inside, hop step into the lane. Nice basket there. Zach Talton with some crafty footwork to get the shot to drop in close.
And Zach Talton, obviously, right there, he's been making his presence felt early on in the second quarter. Some strong defense as well as some offensive movement from Talton as he's been impressive so far early in the second half.
Muhammad grabs the rebound after the missed shot from Frick. Muhammad drives inside, goes up and under, but too hard off the glass there for the guard. Smith with it, driving inside, shot goes up, too strong, but he's fouled. Just about 3 minutes off the clock here in this second half. So it looks as though the foul goes against Zach Talton. That'll be his third. Third foul for number 3, the junior. As Smith goes to the line, had a season-high 4 steals against Pleasantville on December 18th. First free throw is up and good. Smith sets his feet, and the second one is good there for the senior guard. Muhammad passes it up. Bookdahl drives inside, floats one up, and gets it to fall there. Nice shot by Ben Bookdahl. The senior using the glass to his advantage as Moorestown Friends tries to answer back. Cassidy, three-pointer from the corner, front iron. Cretion's there on the offensive rebound, drives inside, uses the left hand and gets it to drop. Second chance points there for Ryan Cretion as he makes it a 37-28 game in favor of the Blue Devils. Muhammad, three-pointer, off the front of the rim. Bookdahl tries it, hits the back of the rim. Third time, no good. Talton gets the rebound. It's blocked by Smith. And a foul there against Cretion, but 4 chances there, 3 offensive rebounds for the Foxes. And the foul, they somehow get it back. Cretion will sub out. Nazir Blackwell will check back in for Hammonton, but I guess somewhat of a good possession there, Colin, is they still got the ball back.
And I was just about to get at that point where it was a lot of offensive rebounds coming on either side from both teams. You saw it happen on back-to-back possessions, but that was excessive. 5 chances for Moorestown Friends, and then after that turnover right there, unable to capitalize.
Greg Smith called on the violation. He's not happy with it. Wanted a foul in the middle of the court. Felt as though he was being pushed around, but the referees disagree. Muhammad gets it right at the Audubon logo at midcourt. The Holiday Classic here at Audubon High School. Vance Harris, three-pointer, hits the front of the rim. Smith with a strong rebound. Muhammad's right there on defense. Frick now to Cassidy. Tipped pass, Lewis back to Cassidy. Cassidy driving inside, using the right hand. Soft off the glass there for Braden Cassidy. And he makes it an 11-point lead for the Blue Devils. Muhammad trying to answer back with a 3, leaves it just short, and the rebound goes to Smith. Smith pushing the ball in transition, back to Cassidy, tries to swing it over to Lewis, but it's tipped there by Vance Harris. Bodie France Harris with some good hands out on the perimeter. We've got whistles and now a timeout on the floor here. 39-28. The Foxes trail to the Hammonton Blue Devils. Both of these teams, this will be their last game in the 2025 calendar year. The Blue Devils will travel to mainland on January 3rd in 2026. And for Moorestown Friends, they'll travel to Maple Shade on January 7th. So a bit of a tune-up game here before a long break for both of these squads. And Colin, right now it feels as though the difference has been the shooting of Hammonton. They've been able to knock down more outside shots, and for Moorestown Friends with this zone, Hammonton seems to have all the momentum right now.
Yeah, and all around, especially for Greg Smith and Braden Cassidy. I mean, it's exactly been that. You see Muhammad on the Moorestown Friends side with that long arcing shot, and it hasn't been falling as of recently. They've gotten a couple things going on that side, but so far it's been a struggle for the Friends from 3. It's been a lot of in the lane and in the paint working hard against some of those Hammonton big guys like Blackwell and Smith.
Cassidy continuing to keep it going with that three-pointer for Hammonton. Vance Harris with it, trying to beat this zone. Bookdahl pass to Muhammad, now Vance Harris back with it, steps into a three-point shot, leaves it well short. Talton gets the rebound, whistles, and a jump ball called.
And Ian McCarthy in very high pleasure of that call by the refs, the jump ball. Blackwell is going to inbound here for Hammonton, but just impressive stuff from the Hammonton defense. Obviously not the greatest shot in the world from the Foxes, from Vance Harris. However, the Blue Devils are going to capitalize.
Another three-pointer for Cassidy. This one rims out. Rebound goes to Vance Harris. Gets it poked away by Cassidy, ends up in the hands of Lewis. Cassidy jumps to pass this one to Blackwell. Blackwell tries to get it to Smith, and a foul called. Talton can't believe it. If it's on him, it's his 4th. And it'll be Frick, the junior guard, to inbound right underneath the basket. It is the 4th on Talton, so a pair of substitutions. Bodie Vance Harris and Zach Talton out. Dean Simpson and Brandon Snow into the game for the Foxes as Frick is now set to inbound. Puts this one on the floor for Lewis, poked away and stolen away there by Snow. Muhammad working against Blackwell, driving inside. It's poked out. Will stay with the Foxes for now as they trail 42-28. You can see there on your screen a whole lot of people in the student section there, because that's the Audubon Green Wave girls team that plays just after this game. Not often you see basketball on a Sunday, but they'll be playing against the Deptford Spartans. Simpson's three-pointer offline. Smith on the rebound, finds Frick. Thought about a pass inside, now cross-court pass. Cassidy testing his luck from deep again, rims out. Blackwell on the rebound, goes up strong, and another second chance basket there by the Blue Devils.
And Blackwell making the most of his opportunity. Like I said, another one of those young guys that was very highly praised over at Hammonton, just kind of forming into his player at this point, forming into his own, if you will. So a sign of good development there from Blackwell early on as the junior kind of getting his chances this year.
Another second chance basket there. It's Frick on the offensive rebound and converting off the left block. 46-28, the Blue Devils starting to run away with this one as 1:35 is left here in the third quarter. Bookdahl finds Simpson, back to Muhammad, three-pointer, back iron. Batted around, Cassidy had it for a moment, being moved around like a pinball, whistles, and a foul there. Lots of bodies hitting the hardwood as Cassidy and Richards went flying for the ball. And this zone defense by Ian McCarthy, maybe one of the better halftime adjustments I've seen, is it's been a real struggle for Moorestown Friends to try and get anything to go here, only scoring 6 points in the quarter.
And kind of like the first quarter as well, where the Foxes struggled to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Glenn obviously made some good adjustments going into the second quarter, and it's something he might have to do again in the fourth if the Foxes are going to get anything going.
Beautiful pass there from Bookdahl to Richards on the right block. And now they're trying to get something going there as they get the basket in close. 1 minute left to go here. 46-30 the lead. That one stripped away by Simpson. 2-on-2 break here for the Foxes. Simpson goes up, uses the right hand on the left side and gets it to go in transition. Whistles and a timeout taken by Ian McCarthy and the Blue Devils. Want to talk a couple things over. Still Hammonton with a big lead on the scoreboard, 46-32. We'll take a quick step off the air right here on DWB. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here in the third quarter. Hammonton up on the scoreboard, 46-32 in the Audubon Holiday Classic on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. This broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying entertainment throughout the Garden State. Book Dog for your next outing at Dog Pro Wrestling. That's DAWG, dogprowrestling.com. Smith with the ball, finds Frick. Less than a minute to go here in the third. Blackwell driving inside against Richards. He can't get it to go. Second chance for Smith. Yes. Another second chance basket there as Muhammad almost lost it, bringing the ball up the floor. But the offensive rebounds have been crucial for Hammonton in this third quarter.
And I think that might be the story of the game after this one is those offensive rebounds. Hammonton's been able to convert on them, unlike Moorestown Friends.
Pass intended for Smith, too high and off the hands from Braden Cassidy to Greg Smith. 9.9 seconds left to go. So for the third quarter in a row, it'll be Moorestown Friends looking to take the final shot. Richards, three-pointer, tries to bank it in, cannot. 1 second left to go. A heave that hits the top partition here in the gym from Braden Cassidy as the shot clock and, the game clock expires. No shot clock here in Jersey, but nevertheless, 3 quarters in the books, 1 left to go. 48-32. The Blue Devils lead over the Moorestown Friends Foxes. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Fourth quarter just about to get started here. 48-32, the Hammonton Blue Devils lead over the Moorestown Friends Foxes. I'm Jake Clark alongside Colin Morris, Javier Harris on production, and the man himself, Dan Wilkins, working the camera. This broadcast is brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, premier sports photography right in your backyard. Book Michael Taylor at grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram. Bookdahl, three-pointer from the wing. Right off the front of the rim. Snow grabs the rebound. Strong rebound. Richards with it, driving with the left hand, going up against Blackwell, leaves it short, was deflected, got his own rebound, and the shot drops. So Blackwell must have touched that on the way down, or else that would have been a travel against Richards. The officials certainly have a better viewpoint than we do. And that one's going the other way by Blackwell.
And as we talked about, Nazir Blackwell, just one of those guys still forming into his own. He's still young. He's got that raw talent, but still just kind of eliminating some of those quick errors that he may make. Still a junior, so still some time, and another guy that Hammonton and Coach McCarthy is going to be excited to bring back in 2026.
Snow, bounce pass, stolen away by Cassidy. Now Muhammad takes it away, and an easy layup there for the guard as it sat right on the front of the rim and dropped. See some players filing in. We've got 2 more games here in Audubon. Hard drive inside by Smith. He gets the shot to go. 50-36. Muhammad now driving inside. Shot goes up. Muhammad goes down, and the shot does not fall, but he'll go to the free throw line for 2 more.
And on that last possession, that was impressive by Smith again. Once again, just being the big player he is, stepping up. He's one of the bigger guards you'll find in South Jersey basketball and listed at 6'2". And just using all 6'2" of him to kind of move in on the paint and work hard against some of those bigger guys from Moorestown Friends.
Both teams making substitutions. Blackwell out along with Snow. Second free throw is up and good there for Muhammad. Foxes trail by 12. Lewis with the ball, working against Muhammad. Finding Smith. They get it over to Cassidy. Cassidy spins to his right. Smith thought about the three-pointer, now drives inside. Kicks this one out for Cretion. And now in the fourth quarter, again, we've mentioned it, no shot clock in the state of New Jersey. So Ian McCarthy and the Blue Devils can take as much time off the clock as they want, as that one's poked out there by Bookdahl. Smith to inbound, 6:22 left to go, and really they could pass the ball around for a couple of minutes and make it tough for the Foxes to get any bit of momentum. Cassidy finds Cretion. Try to get it down low to Smith. It was deflected there by Simpson and goes out of bounds.
And I think that's a good point, Jake, because I think that might be what they try to do, you know, kind of using that good ball rotation. They've had it all day. And when it matters, obviously we saw it. We saw it a lot earlier on, but using it now when it matters might be crucial to kind of close out this game. They're only up by 12.
Cassidy swings it over to Frick. Frick now back to Smith. Jab step there by Smith. They're going to slow it down. 2 minutes off the clock here in the final quarter. Smith, three-pointer, back iron. Rebound goes to Vance Harris. Vance Harris, an outlet pass there for Simpson. Driving inside, using the right hand. Too strong off the glass for Dean Simpson. Cassidy with it, up to Smith. Smith, Euro step into the lane. It's on the floor. Shot didn't drop regardless. They get the foul there on Bodie Vance Harris. His second. Cretion to inbound. Smith wide open from the top of the key. Rolls around the rim and drops. So a lucky roll there for what's technically the visiting team in the Hammonton Blue Devils. 53-38 they lead. Muhammad kicks it out. Richards three-pointer. Tried to answer back, could not. Left it short off the front of the rim.
And that's another thing that's been huge for Hammonton today in the Blue Devils offense is their shooting has been on point, highlighting Smith and Cassidy. But Moorestown Friends just hasn't been able to get them drop, especially in the second half. We saw them kind of explode in that second quarter, but ever since then it's been a very lackluster offensive performance.
Lewis with it, finds Smith. The Blue Devils trying to add to their big lead on the scoreboard. Cassidy at the top of the key. Smith, deep three-pointer. Left it short off the right hand there of Liam Richards. And so Cretion will inbound for Hammonton. Looks like he's lined up right at the left corner of the three-point line. Smith kicks it out. Cassidy, three-pointer. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Cretion. His second shot is good. Another offensive rebound there for the Blue Devils as they continue to kill it on the offensive glass, and more second chance points to come thanks to Cretion. Bookdahl, nice pass inside there for Simpson as they answer right back with a basket of their own, but the Foxes still trail by 15.
Solid ball movement there for Moorestown Friends, and that's what they're going to have to do with just over 4 minutes to go. They're going to have to keep chipping away at that lead. They're going to have to lock in defensively and make a stand eventually because they're down by 15. With just over 4 minutes, this is going to start getting very tricky for the Foxes.
It certainly is. Cretion loses the ball there as it was deflected, and now Muhammad driving inside, slows down, doesn't get it to drop, gets his own rebound. Shot doesn't go, but he's fouled. Elijah Muhammad, the do-it-all point guard here for Moorestown Friends, will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
And it was fun watching him and Smith go back and forth, especially in the first half. Most adjustments have been made on either of them. Muhammad, we haven't said his name a ton in the second half. Smith kind of re-entering himself as a scorer in this game as well. Not a ton in the third quarter from him, but still impressive days from both of these guys.
Smith called on the foul as Muhammad gets a perfect trip at the line there. Now it's certainly crunch time here. Shot drops and the foul there. Greg Smith bulldozing his way inside, and he's got a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And that was impressive. Greg Smith really just looking to kind of cement this game, and if he can knock this one down, it may. But with just under 4 minutes now, Greg Smith just kind of taking it all the way in. That's an excellent, excellent job by the senior point guard. Once again, using all of his height to his advantage and just working hard in the paint.
Offensive rebound goes to Cassidy after the missed free throw from Smith. Lewis has it now back to Smith. Cretion working against Vance Harris, kicks this one out. Lewis, a three-pointer from the corner, doesn't go. Second chance by Smith is up and short, but he's fouled in the act of shooting.
And once again, Greg Smith just taking over in the paint. It's these offensive rebounds. We've been saying it all day, Jake. And that's why Hammonton's going to run away with this game, is because they have been dominating in the paint on offense and most of the time defense, but Moorestown Friends just unable to convert even when they have gotten those offensive rebounds. But if they can't get the defensive rebounds, they can't score.
First free throw is up and good for Smith. As we mentioned earlier, having a stellar start to his senior season, 17.7 points per game, a career high set this year, 30 points against CCTS, recorded a double-double in that game, 5.3 rebounds, and just about 1.5 assists per game, as a timeout is called after the free throw make there by Smith. 59-42, the Foxes trail. 3:35 left to go. We'll be right back here with the rest of the fourth quarter on DWB. Welcome back. The fourth quarter between the Hammonton Blue Devils and the Moorestown Friends Foxes here at the Audubon Holiday Classic Tournament from Audubon High School. I'm Jake Clark alongside Colin Morris here on the call. Javier Harris on production, and the man Dan Wilkins on the camera. Snow tries to kick that one out. It's intercepted, and it's off the hands of Cretion and will go out of bounds. But right now, with 3:21 left to go here in this fourth quarter and a double-digit deficit on the scoreboard, the Foxes have to move fast.
And that was big for Moorestown, unable to convert on that possession, but got lucky with a turnover there, and frustration coming from that Hammonton bench and from the players on the court after a miscue there, but looking to capitalize on their next possession.
Cassidy doesn't get it to go. Cretion three-pointer, yes! Ryan Cretion from the top of the key knocks down the three and makes it a 20-point lead now for the Blue Devils.
And that's huge, and that may have cemented the game. The Blue Devils are probably just about wrapped up this game. Moorestown Friends is going to probably be something shy of a miracle here if they want to turn around this game, but
Cassidy up for Smith. Smith fighting through contact, doesn't go. Frick the rebound, tries to kick it out, falls to the hardwood. And now it looks like both teams are going to be making some substitutions here. The official telling the subs to hold on. They've got to go get the ball rolled under the bleachers. For Moorestown Friends, Devin Phillips and Jaywant Singh into the game for the Foxes. Tyson Brown, the sophomore guard, in, along with Jordan Page, who just had the ball. Blackwell in as well. Both teams making a few subs, and to be expected, a 20-point game here in the fourth quarter. Frick testing his luck from deep. Leaves it short. Brown attempted to save it, but it doesn't go. And for a younger player, as a sophomore, who's now just getting into the game, certainly a good way to try and earn some more minutes, hustling for that loose ball.
Yeah, and that's going to be big for Hammonton, obviously. It's both these teams are kind of similar in the aspect that they both are upper class based, and they're both more experienced and older age based, and so that'll be big for Hammonton to see kind of what they have in the next upcoming years. They're going to graduate quite a few in 2026, and Moorestown Friends is going to graduate almost everyone in 2026 on their varsity rosters. So this will be good for both coaches McCarthy and Gladden to see what the future of their programs hold with only 2 minutes to go.
Jordan with it. Stolen away there by Simpson. Simpson goes up, and Jordan Page, the one coming on the trail. Looks like he's the one to pick up the foul. Dean Simpson heading to the line to shoot two. They do get the foul against Jordan Page, a senior for Hammonton.
And Simpson seemed a little banged up after that play, kind of limped his way to the line. Seems like he's still a little slow moving around there. So with 1:51 to go, we'll see if he can try to tough it out here until this game goes final, but looks in a little bit of discomfort.
First free throw was good. Second one off the mark. Blackwell, three-pointer up and good. And that's a big one there for Nazir Blackwell, his first career three-point make in his young career. 65-43. Simpson finds Talton, drives to the left, working against Brown. Singh with it. Finds Snow. Simpson has the ball. And this one stolen away by Tyson Brown. Brown driving inside, whistles, and he's fouled. 1:11 left to go in this one, and again, you're not going to want to miss any of the action from the Audubon Holiday Tournament. Here, 4 games today. 1 already happened. You're watching game number 2 of 4. Just after this, it'll be the girls' final game as the Deptford Spartans will take on the Audubon Green Wave here at Audubon High School. And then at 3:30, the Gloucester Catholic Rams set to tip off with the boys team from Audubon to close up all of the holiday action here, as the free throw is up and good there from Brown. 67-43 with just a minute left to go.
And that's going to be exciting for, not just us at DWB, but for Audubon as well. Both Audubon girls and boys will look to defend the home court against Deptford and
Gloucester Catholic.
Excuse me. So that'll be fun for the Green Wave, looking to defend their home court in the holiday tournament. The girls obviously took it away last year with the win over the Penns Grove team that we saw play this morning, but that'll be exciting here as this one's going to come to an end. But Hammonton and Moorestown Friends, a good game. Hammonton obviously a solid game yesterday with Gloucester Catholic, who Audubon will take on later. But for Moorestown Friends, they'll still be in search of their first win of 2025.
Shot goes up there from Snow. Foul looks to be on the floor. 21.8 left to go here. And with both teams in the bonus, Zach Talton going to the line. If the result stands as final, the Blue Devils will move to 2-3. And for a team that missed the playoffs last year, certainly good to try and get wins early. They say that in all sports, you can't win the season at the beginning of the season, but you certainly can lose it. And for both of these teams, looking to try and pick up wins here. And again, even though it's a consolation game, the game does go towards the final standings. Frick has it. Looks as though they're just going to hold this one out. And so that should wrap it up. 67-43. The Blue Devils will beat the Moorestown Friends Foxes as the final buzzer sounds. And the result stands. Hammonton will move to 2-3 on the year. And Colin, as you mentioned, the Moorestown Friends Foxes still searching for their first win. And they won't get one in the 2025 part, as their next game being in 2026. They'll fall to 0-3. Certainly great work on the offensive glass and a big run in that second half to really put this game to bed from Hammonton.
And yeah, for both the Blue Devils and the Foxes, well, Hammonton, I think it's something good for them to take into the new year. It's a solid win. Moorestown Friends, I think Hammonton would probably have been the projected winner in this one anyway, but I think it's something solid for them to take into 2026. They're going to, they're going to move up to 2-3 on the year. And now for Moorestown Friends, they fall to 0-3. And, like you said, you cannot win the season at the beginning of the year, but I think it's going to be something that they can, walk out of Audubon this weekend, and kind of improve on some things, improve on practice. They'll have some time off here with the new year and then get back at it when they take the court again.
So that's going to do it for this broadcast, but stick around. We've got 2 more games. The girls' final, as you can see on your screen, warming up just now. But from our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, my producer, Javier Harris, Dan Wilkins on the camera, my color commentator, Colin Morris, I'm Jake Clark, and that will do it as the Hammonton Blue Devils pick up a 67-43 win. We've got more action here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting